Rico, Talion said, trying to get her attention for a moment.
Yes, Master?
She replied, with a big smile on her face.
Is it time for Rico's first order? She will do well, she swears.
No, that's not it, Talion replied. Just, I was wondering if you could maybe call off the deal? You know, the one that makes you my servant or whatever. I'm still happy to let you eat if you need to. I just don't want you to feel like you have to do anything for it.
Well, sorry, but Rico already made deal. Once deal made, deal can't be unmade.
Okay, so you're just stuck being my servant?
Yes, but Rico is not stuck. She chose. Rico thinks she chose good, Master.
Thanks, I guess, Talion replied. I still don't exactly feel comfortable with it, but I suppose if it can't be undone, then it's just something I'm going to have to deal with. The real problem is how I'm going to explain this to my mom. And my teacher. What are they gonna say?
Ooh, Mighty One has mother? She is mighty too, I think,
Rico replied.
She must be to have such a strong son, who has so much demonic energy.
No, actually, my mother's human.
What? Where?
Rico replied, starting to look around, before darting behind Talion, as if she was running for cover.
Does they see me? Where are they?
They're not here, Rico, Talion replied, looking over his shoulder at her, as she clasped his shoulders, occasionally peeking out behind one or the other, looking for someone in the distance.
Ugh, that is good. Humans no like Rico. In fact, demons no like Rico either. Before Rico met Master, basically no one liked Rico. But Rico is Eco, so she understands. People no like Eco. Ever.
Yeah, that sounds terrible, Rico, Talion said. Why do people dislike you so much?
Rico no knows. They's just do.
Well, I promise, no one's gonna hate you where I live, okay? I guess I really have no choice but to bring you with me. I don't want you out here starving or anything. The only problem being how I'm gonna explain it. Just follow me, Talion said, as he began to start walking back towards his house. This time, much slower than he did when he came to this clearing, hoping he could figure something out on the way back. Rico followed behind him for a short time after he started making his way home. But before long, she began to run around, circling him, jumping from place to place, just running and making noise, smiling and laughing the entire time. As Talion tried to think about how to explain this to his mother, grandmother, and his new teacher. As he looked up at Rico, running madly around in circles, smiling. What are you doing? He asked, feeling a bit curious about her activities. Rico stopped running in front of him for a moment.
Oh, is it bothering, Master? Rico can stop.
No, it's not bothering me, he replied. It's just that, I don't understand why you're running around so much.
Oh, Rico doesn't really understand either. Normally, Rico has nowhere near this much energy. Maybe it's because Rico no longer feels stabby pain in stomach. Or something about being full give Rico energy. But Rico feels very well right now. She almost can't contain herself. Quite simply, Rico just feels like running. But Rico can stop.
No, you go right ahead, Rico. Do whatever makes you happy. But you might need to pull it down once we get back to the house. Give me some time to explain this to everyone. Or at least try to.
Yes, Master Taleon,
she said, before running around back in circles again, smiling and laughing. Taleon did his best to try to come up with something before he reached his home. However, he was finding himself completely lackluster for ideas. The only reasonable thing he could come up with was not to tell them about the whole master-servant thing at all. Maybe he could just claim that Rico was a new friend, and that he wanted to help her. It really wasn't that far from the truth when he thought about it. In fact, the whole master-servant thing was just sort of a fluke, an accident. So it wouldn't be that bad if he fudged the details just a little bit, he thought, as his house finally pulled into sight. Okay, Rico, that right there, that's my house, he said, pointing in the direction, as Rico stopped and began looking. Wow, she said, looking at the small cottage carved into the mountain wall. Master has home. Rico has never had one of those. She has always wondered what they look like on the inside. She sees many go in and out of them, but Rico is never invited. And once again, people no like Rico, she said, scratching the top of her head a little bit and looking down. Don't worry, Rico. You'll be fine here. No one here is going to dislike you. But, just between you and me, I'm going to tell them that you're just a friend of mine, okay? Someone that I just met. That you're alone and need our help. And hopefully I can get my mom to let you stay with us. And that way you don't have to be out there alone. Oh, Rico supposes this would be good. Rico will have a hard time serving Master if Master's mother wants Rico to sleep outside. But Rico is comfortable with this as well. She can climb trees very well. Okay, Taleon replied, feeling a bit befuddled about her easygoing nature about being discriminated against. Being forced to sleep outside is just something that she would be okay with? The more she spoke, the worse he felt about the status of her life. How poorly can somebody be treated? It's as if she just expects it. Like there's nothing wrong with being treated like that. The whole thing just depressed Taleon. So he shook himself off and began heading for the door. Okay, Rico, just stand behind me and I'll introduce you. As Taleon opened the door, he was welcomed by a fairly unusual sight. It seemed as if his mother was having a bit of a disagreement with his teacher. She seemed to be trying to bandage some of his injuries. However, despite the number of injuries he had, he seemed to want none of it, trying to pull away from her as she tried to put the bandages on. "Now you stay still," she shouted. "I told you I can do it myself," Salus replied, still trying to pull away from his mother. "I saw the bandages that you put on yourself and they were done terribly. Stop being a child and just let me put your bandages on. The faster you heal and recover from these injuries, the sooner Talion's training can commence. And your fidgeting is not making it easier, mister." "I'm fidgeting because I don't want your help." "I can handle it. I'm a demon. I may not have super fast regeneration like your son, but I still do pretty damn well." Even if the bandages are shoddy, it won't slow down my healing at all. Well, if there's even the slightest possibility that properly bandaging them could speed things up, then I'd be a fool not to take that. And run with it. So, are you going to sit still, or am I going to have to hit you with something, mister? Ugh, why are you so frustrating? Mom's like this? I feel like I'm 10 years old again, Salas said, rubbing his hand across his face.